half a book of the 175 volumes that the human genome is printed on contain the differences between us. For the rest, we are all the same. So let's take that in for a moment as we transition to a conversation about society at large and how we relate, how we can evolve together using our human soft skills coupled with artificial intelligence, find a new role in society, contributing to the economy we want to support and develop. Our next speaker is Chief Marketing, Communications and Innovation Officer at Banca Mediolanum, and he is orchestrating Economy 0.0 principles that combine business and management with philosophy, arts, and science. Oscar di Montigny, please come to the stage.
Thank you.
Due, siamo in Italia.
Buongiorno. That's the only word I would say in Italian. How many Italians? They told me, you must speak in English. I said, fine, okay. We'll be full of Italians, but I will respect the mandate. So, I work for a bank, but I will not tell you anything about banking. It's fine? Yes. Why? Banks are good. Few of them are. Okay. I believe this. Humans are the best technology. Now it's 2 days that we are listening to amazing minds telling us stories, researchers, insights about technology. But I still believe that we are the best technology on this planet. But there is something that might be missing tomorrow, and I would like to share something about it now in the next minutes. I've been at the Singularity University in across 2014 and 15. That was an amazing experience. It's based in the research camp of the NASA. That was my first day. I was really excited. And the reason why I decided, and I thank my company to give me the chance to go over there, was exactly this. How will the convergence of exponential technologies change your life, your industry, and our world? Because I really wanted to be part of this huge impact on the planet. So I believe that that could be a proper place to go and to spend many days with amazing minds, listening to them, trying to produce few insights to give my scent to this project. After a few days I was there, now I had few questions showing up in my mind. And I start asking to Dr. Kurzweil, Peter Diamandis, asking many questions. Because the main reason why I'm still wondering if we are the right machine on this planet and the best technology is that we've been able to write down a declaration like this. You know it, do you? Perfect. It tells about freedom of conscience, thought, religion and belief, opinion and expressions, assembly and association, and many others. And it tells about rights, identity, liberty and security, food and health, education, work, property, peace, and many others, and basically life. It tells about us. But we still live in a place where this is allowed. This is a Syrian girl who has his mother killed. She designed on the floor the figure of her mother, and you see very well where she positioned herself in her, even taking off her shoes. That's a message that the world, that the planet is giving to us. That's a question more than a message. We talk about globalization, for example. That is one of the topics of this century. We are the World Economic Forum in Geneva this year, where Oxfam, which is an NGO organization producing information, data about the distribution of riches on the planet, and last year that was the distribution of the riches on the planet, 1% versus 99%. And this was the number of persons possessing half of the richness on the planet. Because we heard Peter Diamandis telling us about abundance, But the fact that there is more abundance on the planet doesn't mean that this abundance is well distributed, okay? So we were here. The year before, that was the number of persons possessing half of the richness of the planet, and this was 5 years earlier. This is exponential, but maybe not in the proper verses. Do you agree? Okay, I was not looking for applauses. Grazie. That's the second word in Italian. The third one, they're going to kill me. And 2017, the number went down to 8. And I love all of them. But I pray every single day that these minds are enlightened, well-oriented. Do the same. Many prayers, good strength. So many will they be in few years? How many? If the exponential curve will go down, they might be 2, 3. And then would be very soon maybe 1. And if he's a crazy one, this was the number, okay? So maybe the equation might not work tomorrow. We've been telling stories to our kids. I have 5 kids. That's very exponential with 1 wife, so please applause. This is for applause. And this is very exponential, and I kept telling stories to my children. At the end of the stories, it was always the same, the happy hand. So I'm wondering, I don't have the answer, which should be the end of our story. Because, as I said, globalization is working very well. Distribution is not actually working as well. And if this is the representation, basically, very soon this is not going to work anymore. Because this is a law. It's a physics law. There is no judge, there is no morality, there is no philosophy. It's just physics. And again, planet. What is this number? Do you know it? That's the global public debt. So we live on a planet where this is the relationship between the debt and the GDP. And this is also very exponential. 70 out of 215 was produced as a debt only in the last 10 years. Very exponential. So I keep wondering, because we've been able, we're a strange kind as a humankind. We were able to divide the atom, but we're not learned yet how to divide bread. So probably the system might not work. At the same time, maybe we might have done a great job for our shareholders. But again, I keep asking to these beautiful minds, what about? And the world is telling us, started to give us answers. We are in New York. I work for a bank. For a bank, this was the symbol of the markets growing, okay? The bull market. Few months ago, this statue, which has been named the Fearless Girl, has been put right in front of the bull. And the sculpturist who did the bull asked the mayor of the city to take the girl off. But in these days, this is one of the sculptures that is attracting a lot of people to take pictures. She is getting very famous. She's a message. Can you follow? Okay. So maybe the end of the story might not be so nice as we were used to, okay? Again, the only authority that can now say you must change your life is the global crisis. It has authority because it appeals to something unthinkable for which it is the prelude, the potential worldwide catastrophe. That's the point. Read newspapers, read magazines, watch TV, and keep wondering, please. But we have a possibility. We don't have to clap our hands. We have to use our forces, possibly all together. And this is a beautiful place to stay, to spend 2 days, because we are talking about innovation. Innovation can be whatever. I'm very simple and basic. I like and I love to study words, the meaning of words. And if you go in the dictionary, on your vocabulary, you will find innovation, to alter the established order of things to do new things. So we have to alter something. We have to change whatever has been established for centuries, years, months, days, hours, to do something new. This is innovation. It's very basic. And I love this mission because this is perfectly focused on what we need now as a banker, as an employee, as a manager, as a doctor, as whoever you are. When I met this person, is Dr. Kurzweil, okay? She's one of the most brilliant minds we had in our century. And he has been telling us in those days spent at the Singularity University about the possibility by 2045 to become immortal. Someone already said this before a few hours ago. So it's true. You will live forever. It's true. Aging could be stopped. Now I keep wondering, why? Because we might be living for 500 years. And so, you might be able to walk. That's great, if you couldn't before. To go where? You might be able to see if you could not before. Great. To see what? Immortality is for heroes. If you go on Wikipedia, you will find this description of a hero. A hero is any person who does an extraordinary and generous act of courage, which might result in the conscious sacrifice of himself to protect the good of others. Any person, so welcome in the hero's world, the good of others, not the good of your family, your company, your country, yourself. That is immortality. When you are a hero, you'll be forever. So, it's time probably for us, for this generation of managers, of citizens, of fathers, of educators, of doctors, of researchers, of engineers, or whoever you are, to get the right pill. You could say focus on your personal life. Sorry, the images may not be the proper one, but I think it's very clear. Whatever is happening out there, who cares? You know? Sorry, Singularity University, sorry, organization. But this is very exponential, it's very basic, okay? More or less we are all, if not here, somewhere here, okay? Maybe looking, some of us, okay? If it's not that, maybe we are somewhere along this path. It's not enough. We have to stay there, altering the established order of things to do new things. It's the time for a revolution. The time for a revolution which is the evolution of consciousness. Like the egg. If you break an egg, when the break comes from outside, the life that was into the egg is going to die forever. If the break comes from inside, whatever you do inside your life, your family, your company, your country, your life, it's time for a new life to alter the established order of things. So, it's just us. Companies are made of humans. Organizations are made of humans. Families are made of humans. Technology is going to support us in this great purpose in an amazing and powerful new way. We just must find the way to get the touch, the proper touch. Again, humans, this is the reason why, are the best technology for me. Why? Easy. Humans are for questions. Machines are for answers. So we will use in the proper way machines if we will be able to ask them the proper answers. So please, question everything. And if you can, there are two basic days you will have to be focused on. The first day you were born, and the day when you realized why. Dr. Einstein has been asked a day by a journalist, Dr. Einstein, which is the secret of how can you be a genius? He answered, I stay with my questions much longer than others. He has been asked, how long? Until I do not find the answer. I had a teacher, this is my teacher, Dr. Patrizio Poletti. He told me, Oscar, every answer is already pregnant of every question is already pregnant of its own answer. If you do not find the answer, reformulate the question. And he has been working for years on this technology, inner design technology, a discipline to manage your behaviors in order to draw your inner world in accordance with your deepest aspirations. This is the point. This is the point, which is your vocation. As a company, you can have a vision, and then you can have produce a mission, and then you might have a strategy, a master plan, an organization, a budget. You might have scheduled your time, training your people. Fine, which is your vocation. What a vocation is? An activity often understood as a purely religious character, but which also exists inside of philosophical moral thoughts. Even in the Christian sense, vocation it is not exclusively the priestly religious one, but everyone is called to recognize their own talents and to put them into practice for oneself and for others. You remember, heroes? And again, vocation is a particular sensitivity, an innate transport in living a certain kind of life that leads an individual to do some things rather than others for whom he feels an inner transport. And finally, in philosophy, it is the call that makes you feel part of a universal project, each in their own specific domain. Then, I don't care if you want to be the best company in the world. I care if you want to be the best company for the world. It's a little word that makes a huge difference. I had the chance to meet this lady. She's the niece of the Mahatma Gandhi, the big soul. She's the daughter of the third son of Mahatma Gandhi. And she's been trained by the Mahatma Gandhi in his ashram for years. I had the chance to know her. We are friends. She sends me letters. It's beautiful. She writes letters and sends me letters. And one day she told me, my grandfather used to tell me, Tara, speed doesn't make the difference if you go in the wrong direction. Everything now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.0 of everything. But again, where are we going to? So I think it's time for a new idea, as Victor Hugo said. And I named this idea Economy 0.0. What is exactly? It's a question. It's a big question on the meaning of economy, okay? And I want to ask you, I want to use this occasion that I have, asking you also, the economy is a purpose or it's a tool? And again, the human being, it's a tool for economy and finance, for example, or it's a purpose? And again, profit is just a for-profit or a no-profit word, or there is a third possibility? I named it the right profit. And then I went on the vocabulary, looking at the word right, what right means. First of all, the right to make profit. Money is fine. It's not evil. And then if you go in the vocabulary, you will find a meaning for right as correct, honest, good, sane. So I hope that those 8 people in the world so rich, they will be correct, honest, good, and sane. Will be an amazing chance for the world if the richest ones are going to make this kind of profit. And again, I'm not a scientist, but are now almost 20 years that I've been studying neuroscience, philosophy, art, and economy. And I realized a few basics I want to share with you in these last minutes. Whatever keep us in touch each other is much stronger, is much more powerful than whatever keep us away one from the others. The quantum physics just discovered as a surprise that we are all connected in a huge energy field. So the paradigm vita mea mors tua doesn't work anymore. And we have to switch. With a pill, we'll go in vita mea, vita tua. Taking another pill, we will switch on this new paradigm. And we are very close. And Mr. Einstein said mankind invented the atomic bomb, but no mouse would ever construct a mousetrap. So please, let's stop making stupid people famous. Because in the economy 0.0, it costs nothing to be a good, correct, honest, sane person. Okay? But we must be focused on values, on what really makes the difference for everyone. Why? Because my happiness is possible only thanks to yours. So one of the final questions I'm focused on is, should I make money for what? To make more money? For love? Do I really have to take a road? Or there is a third possibility? Because at the end of the road, and the road is your life, you will find Isis looking at you as you deserve. And again, talking about vocation for immortality. Don't forget that once you'll be dead, you will not bring anything with you. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And as this, do you know Jalaluddin Rumi? He has the same value for Islam as St. Francis has for Christianity. They met in the 12th centuries in the Terra Santa, but no one tells us on the news and the newspapers and in the magazines on TV that the two most important religious men of these two religions, they met and they shared. He used to say, when you be dead, do not look for your rest under the ground, but in people's hearts. Which is amazing. This is a mission for a company. In my book that you will find in the library, I tell a story about a new hero. And then when I reach the end of my talk, telling you about this, who a new hero is. Because we don't need heroes today. We need new ones. I don't see any Nelson Mandela, any Tara Gandhi, any Mahatma Gandhi, any Martin Luther King at the horizon. I only see a huge number of persons. There will not be anyone coming to save us. What a new hero is. Any person really intent on making this world a better place for all. Any person for all. We are all connected. We are human beings. We need to be human. Humanity has to come back in our lives, in our work, in our organizations. Because humankind is revolutionary because can seek what can't be seen. A machine cannot. And if they will be able to do it in the future, we will have lost. Do you remember the video you saw this morning, the last morning? Can you imagine it? Please try to imagine it, because when you visualize, you realize your mind is super powerful. Do you remember this picture? You don't. What you should remember is this. Do you remember this picture? Not yet. Do you remember this picture? And do you remember this? If these were two machines, there was no why. Do you agree? Two machines. But the machine had to turn because there was a human being in front of her. Of him, of it. I don't know yet. Don't forget, please, in your daily life, that machines are a program. Humans are a project. And the programs are useful to the projects, not just for themselves. Let me leave you with these last two thoughts, because the time already is past. We are not human beings living in a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings living in a human experience. Isn't it beautiful as a mission for a life? So please, try it. Make your life a gift, and make this gift meaningful for the world. And always be yourself. At least be yourself, unless you can be a hero. In that case, be a new hero. Thanks.
Lots of technology in here to explore and to put it
In
good
here,
use. In here,
basically,
in
and
here.
here.
Okay, so what is a pop solution to engage younger audiences? No, you don't read it there. I'll ask you.
No, I
then.
was curious because she asked me, do you want to know the questions that I'm going to ask you? I said, no.
Exactly. There they go.
Okay.
So yeah, because I think the adult crowd kind of gets it, but it's really important that the younger crowds get it. So what's your recipe to involve the younger audiences?
Thanks for the question. In the last 2.5 years, I met around 50,000 people live, okay? And at least 1/3, maybe a bit more of them, they were children between 12, 14 years old up to, okay, university and college age, so 18, 19, 20, and maybe university 24. And they need models, that's it. Models in Italian, the word is modello. And modello comes from the Latin word modulus. Modulus means measure. When you have a model, it means that you have a measure to look at, telling you, showing you which is the difference between your measure and the other measure, okay? So that's a model. They need models. But models have to be not teachers, have to be witnesses. Someone incarnating a new life. We don't have to explain them anything. Just living, try to live as a model, thinking that everybody's looking at you as the one to look at, to do exactly the same, to speak in the same way, to act in the same way, to behave in the same way.
No pressure on anyone. No,
well, that's the way they're looking at us.
Yeah, that's true. So it's good to be reminded. Thank you. Okay, then let's go to the other spectrum of society. Senior citizens, managing them in an innovative way is a big concern for our country. We do have a pretty high, demographic. So there's a pioneering care facility for elders with dementia in Denmark. It's a village where they cohabitate and are taken very good care of 24 hours a day. So do you think that special interest communities are part of the solution for a happier population?
You mean?
Well, that's an example, but putting people together according to special needs and special interests.
That's the only way. Otherwise, technology is going to separate us because it's going to be so powerful, useful, fast. And so I don't believe in experts when we have to talk about future, because who can be an expert of something that didn't show up yet? But again, if I look at what is happening today, and I try to connect the dots, I can imagine that at least the future is going to be somewhere there and not there, okay, at least. So in there, somewhere, there is a new economy where we'll have to share. And we must spread this voice of sharing. I believe in competition, for example, talking about business. It's not the time anymore for competition. It's not the time for collaboration, just that. It's the time for competition. Running, but together. The best one is going to win. The worst one is not going to lose.
That's a very nice way to frame it. Now, one last thing. We have just a few more moments. You were a student at Singularity University. How did that experience change your life?
That was amazing. There were a few days that I was like shaking. You know, I kept calling home saying, "Hey, this is amazing. This is another word. I mean,
disruptive."
Yeah, and the worst days were when I came back. It was like waking up and say, "Oh,
we're
this
still
place
in the
doesn't
present.
look like exactly as it should be, as it could be." That was one of the days in my life, very few actually, when I said, I really want to play an active role to be part of those who want to make the difference. It doesn't really make the difference how strong you are or how much you can impact. The difference is right in between those who want to try it and those who will say, someone will do it for me. We must take responsibilities on our life. And the responsibility is exactly that, the ability to give responses. So the world is asking us tough questions at the moment. We must be able to produce the right answers. Machine can be useful to give the right answers. I don't think that they will be able to give only themselves the answers.
And we should be asking them the questions.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This way.